welcome to the Kitchen Island.
Today we're discussing iRobot 2004.
Another 2004 banger.
And making scones using a recipe from Love and Lemons, which we'll put in the description. And we've got some swig. Any swig heads out there? I've got a vanilla soda with vanilla and vanilla.
And I've got the Texas tab because Dr. Pepper. Okay, let's look at these directions. Okay, line a large baking sheet with parchment paper.
Okay.
Oh, scissors. Scalpel.
Well, okay, yeah.
If you can rip it, then go ahead and rip it.
Which side goes?
I think it's double-sided, so it doesn't matter. Yeah, it's fine. You go that way just so we can have more coverage. Could we have thought this out? Oh well. So, iRobot. 2004, directed by Alex Proyas.
Yeah.
Not sure how you pronounce his name. Loosely. Not even based on, inspired by. What was the phrase it used in the credits? Suggested by. The Isaac Asimov.
Short story anthology.
Yeah. Okay, large bowl.
Okay, basically
also called iRobot, right?
It's either called iRobot, and the story that iRobot is based off of is Do with Stream of Electric Sheep, or it's the other way around. But yeah. So
okay, in large bowl, whisk together the flour, sugar. Okay, flour. We need. I'm dumb. That's okay. We need 2 cups of all-purpose flour. So open up that flour. We got 2 cups.
I should have scrolled down.
That's okay. Where are you?
2 cups.
2 cups. 2 cups all-purpose flour. Okay. Sugar. We need 1/4 cup.
I think I'm gonna use like a half a cup because like I can't really.
You can pour it into the half cup thing over this, and just any excess will fall.
Well, then
okay. I need the 4th cup for the sugar. Okay. Pure cane sugar.
Two cups, right?
2 cups.
Whole cups.
Due tasse. 2 cups. Okay, so you start iRobot. First of all, shout out the menu.
Shout out the menu.
DVD menu.
We love the DVD menu for iRobot.
Media.
Okay, but like first of all, before we even get into the literally what happens in the movie, the concept, concept for this movie is 40s detective noir, but in the future.
Yeah.
Which is incredibly sick.
Yeah.
And I get behind that.
Yeah. I don't know if I want to use the word aesthetic, but like that thing. Also, to all our fans out there, I will go on record saying that if I could ever erase my memory and watch a movie again for the first time, I probably say that a lot, but if I could only choose one, I would do it for iRobot. So if you have not seen iRobot, not just, I haven't seen the movie, whatever, but I would not, if I could go into it completely fresh and blank, that's how I would want to go into watching it. So watch the movie and then listen to this. 2 teaspoons baking powder. Teaspoons are also in there.
Teaspoon.
Flour, sugar, baking powder, and salt. We need 1/2 teaspoon.
Ooh.
Wait, 1/2. Wait, 2 teaspoons, 1/2 teaspoon.
This is 1 teaspoon, and
this is 1/4.
We
that
need
works.
2 teaspoons of baking powder.
We need 2 teaspoons of baking powder.
Into the big.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then 1/2 teaspoon. So I need 2 of these of the sea salt. Okay.
Oh wait, I cracked it. That's what this is for. So you can hold on. Wait, I'll show you. See, there's this thing. It's so you can go like this.
Oh, and you can level it.
That's what that's for. Oh my gosh.
How the poop am I supposed to? Is there an easier way to go about this?
What's your language?
I'm sorry. Stop cussing. You're not good at it.
Which is a line from the movie. Yeah, so
Dude, this is coarse, but that's okay.
Okay.
That's okay.
So, yeah, anyway, so it's a sci-fi noir story starring Will Smith as Detective Spooner.
Yes.
One thing I will say is that Detective Spooner is so irritating to like most everyone, but I like in a very like good way. Like I don't quite know how to say it, but like to almost all the characters, he is being like incredibly just like obstructive and like his personality is not great. But I kind of enjoy it for a person in his position and all the things that make him like that. I'm like, yeah,
his character makes sense. He's not like annoying to other characters or obstructive just like to make plot to like make conflict. Like I think he is a pretty well written character.
He earns all
also, the Bridget Moynihan's character, Dr. Calvin.
Shout out to her.
Shout out Bridget Moynihan.
Well, shout out Dr. Calvin.
She's like, no, as we were watching it, I was like genuinely like Dr. Calvin might be one of my like when I think about like just a female character, I'm like, her.
Yeah.
Okay. In a large bowl, whisk that stuff together on the large holes of a box grater.
It's over there.
I'm gonna get this guy. Okay. So we are supposed to apparently grate frozen butter, so that's what we're gonna do.
I really hope it grates and doesn't just like
this works out. We are supposed to grate 8 tablespoons. So 1 stick. Okay.
1 whole stick.
Okay, should we talk about the movie now?
I know. Yeah, we there's a lot of front loading things.
Okay, so the movie does. Oh, right, the menu.
The menu. Yeah, we were shout out the menu.
The DVD menu. Anyway, I think just for ease, I'm gonna grate it into a bowl, and then we'll put the bowl.
Okay, yeah, that works.
So the menu. No, moving on from the menu. The movie starts out with the 3 laws of robotics,
which Isaac Asimov wrote those. Wrote those, and so you see them. You know, it's the like first and foremost, a robot can't harm a person. Second, a robot has to follow any orders given to it by a human, unless those conflict with the first law, in which case, like, it won't do that.
Just go for it?
Yeah, I mean, like it's a block of cheese, except it's butter. And then the third law, that a robot must protect its own existence unless that conflicts with the first or second law. I don't really get the point of the third one that much.
Why it would protect it? Like why it'd be important to say? Oh,
yeah, like I get
themselves.
Don't hurt people, and then also like do what you're told, but like. I mean, I guess it's like for the robot's sake, but whatever. Those are the 3 laws of robotics that Isaac Asimov wrote. And then in the movie, big robot scientist guy Alfred Lanning wrote those. So like
the laws also exist like actually in the universe.
And Lanning wrote them, and Lanning is
a lot easier than I thought it would be.
Oh, okay. Is like the father of robotics in this world.
I'm getting butter all over my fingers.
I bet.
Ow!
Do you
frickety frack?
Do you want me to do it?
No, it's okay.
Okay.
Right. So as it's giving you these 3 laws, it's over this like watery, bubbly.
Yeah, there's lots of bubbles, but you can tell that like it's water.
Yeah.
You know, like
you can't quite tell what's going on. You see bubbles. I think you see like the car window.
Yeah. I think maybe you see someone like banging on a window, like hands against the window, but you don't know what's going on. And then alarm clock sound,
and it's
Will Smith waking up from like a nightmare or whatever.
Yeah.
Instantly, he wakes up and he's got a gun already in his hand. He sleeps with the gun in his hand, which immediately out of the gate tells you everything you need to know about Detective Spooner.
Also, I mean, this is so unimportant. Because his like apartment, house, whatever, like it's very open plan, right?
Yeah.
His single bladed ceiling fan.
The single bladed ceiling fan is like, just like so.
This looks like what's
like,
the good cheese? Mozzarella.
Like I do kind of want to eat it a little bit. Is that both of them?
No, that's just one half. So I still have another half to go.
And then, should I like mix it in a bit?
Wait,
like obviously I don't want to.
Grate the frozen butter, add to the flour mixture, and toss to coat. Wait to do the tossing until I've like done all of the butter. Okay. Right. So he wakes up.
Okay, and we see he's got like, first of all, he's like shirtless because he sleeps shirtless, and we see that he's got like scars around his shoulder.
And you can see him also kind of like
massaging it and moving around like it hurts. So it's like, okay, something there. Anyway,
and he also, whenever he's doing his little workout, he's doing his little workout with that arm.
So he's doing like PT with this arm.
Yeah. Yes. Then of course, so the movie also it tells you at the beginning of the movie that it takes place in Chicago 2034. 2035.
2035. Yeah. So it's like the future, but it's not like Star Trek, like space travel future. And like throughout the movie you see like they're in Chicago and it looks basically normal except like there's robots places and like the cars are there's not like hover cars, but the cars just like a bit more advanced. So there's a few things where it's clearly like there's like more robot and like not even specifically like robots, but just like innovation and tech.
Yeah, literally, I wrote down the like world building tech, like because in the scenes that are shot, just like on the streets or whatever, I feel like they do a really good job of like you have a bunch of people walking around because it's a city, but you also like you see a lot of robots, but not like a lot of robots of like, oh, there's robots everywhere, but just where it's like you are comfortable with the idea that like robots are a commonplace thing.
Another on-time delivery.
Shout out the FedEx robot.
Yeah, like immediately when Detective Spooner leaves his apartment. Well, yeah. I mean, I feel like he leaves directly from his place to the street, but I think it is like an apartment or whatever. Yeah. There's a FedEx robot, and he's just. I mean, the robots aren't sentient. Like, let me know. So, like, I would say, like, he's just this happy guy. He's not because he's a robot, but, like...
He's programmed to be.
But, like, he's, just this wonderful guy. And these robots that you see look very, like, Star Wars droid-esque.
Like, they're very metal robots.
Yeah. They don't quite have facial features.
Yeah,
they've obviously got eyes and, like, a little, like, thing that's, like, where the speaker for, like, their mouth is. But they're not, like... guys, as opposed, and these are the S4s, as opposed to the NS5s, which are the ones that, when you think iRobot, you're probably familiar with, the, like, very human, creepy-looking ones.
So I have to get this massive amount of butter that's on my fingers
and so I can just start whisking?
It says something. Hold on. That's really gross. Okay. Add the flour mixture and toss to coat. Use your hands to work the butter into the flour until the mixture resembles a course meal. Add desired mix-ins and toss to incorporate. So
I can't toss. This is the thing about how my wrist works. I can't.
I was thinking like toss with hands.
Okay. I'll just
go for it. Our mix-in, we are making chocolate chip scones. Where are our chocolate chips? I will open them up. Okay, there was something else I was going to mention about, with the world building and how, like, they set it in the kind of near future. Now, keep in mind, this movie came out in 2004, and it's set in 2035, so about 30 years in the future. We now, in the year of our Lord 2025, we're like 10 years out from it.
But it's not like, for a movie that came out in 2004, it's not like some crazy, like, like space age technology thing. It's just, it's a very, like, grounded kind of sci-fi, which lends itself to the, like, noir mystery that's about to unfold.
I do, in addition to the, like, you see robots common enough that they look commonplace. It says, okay.
Course meal. I don't know what that means.
Meal?
What is a course meal?
Add to the flour mixture and toss to coat. I don't know what toss to coat means.
I mean, like, the butter is coated in the flour mixture.
Until it resembles a course meal. I don't know. Just make it look uniform.
Like, I mean, if I keep tossing, like, I'm gonna deconstruct the butter into just, like, being...
It does say, like, we don't want to melt the butter. I guess, hold on, let me add our add-in.
Okay. And then do I toss it?
It kind of, mix that in. We're just having a good time.
I mean, the point of this is our first go at this recipe.
We've never made scones before in our life.
Yeah, like, it's not like we've studied up on this. Anyway, so, yes.
Oh, the point I was trying to get to, I'm sorry. There's a lot of little things that, like, give you that sense of we're futuristic, but we're not crazy. Like, the, his, like, detective badge is, like, digital, and then they have, like, the police tape is
holographic, yeah.
And so it's just things like that, where it gives you that good sense of, like, yes, this is the future, but at the same time, you still have, he drives his car to the police precinct, and he sits down at a computer. And, like, the computer, for the most part, looks pretty, like, it probably was, like, ooh, cool for 2004, but, like...
Nowadays, it's, like, very, like, believable.
Yes.
Like,
It is funny that they have those kind of, like, Bluetooth headsets where they, like, talk to each other, but they, like, cell phones.
But, yeah, like...
Anyway. Okay. In a medium bowl.
Also, Detective Spooner wears Converse.
Oh,
and this, among other things, he's got, like, some older stuff, and the Converse are vintage 2004, which, like, haha. But the things that you see, Detective Spooner has a lot of what would be considered in 2035 to be, like, retro stuff. That, and, like, he immediately, the, like, lovely robot that delivers his mail, like, right at the beginning, he, like, he's mean to it. Not, like, terribly mean to it, but he's just, like, out of my way, like, so clearly he's not a fan of robots.
Yeah, you get right off the bat that he does not like the robots. Right, okay, and then as he's, I don't know if this is on his way to Gigi's or after Gigi's going to work. Also, shout out Gigi.
Gigi.
Another, this has to be on his way to Gigi's because he doesn't have the pie anymore.
Yeah.
Or he doesn't have the pie. Shia LaBeouf's character.
Yeah.
Something.
And, like, he's legitimately just in, like, this scene at the beginning and the scene at the end. Like
why they put in Shia LaBeouf's character is, like, beyond me. I don't know what the purpose of that character is.
There's no explanation given for, like, who he is, why he knows Spooner, but they just have very, like, so, like, I mean, like, I guess, like, Spooner, like, has people that he knows beyond Gigi and his coworkers.
Yeah, I guess, like, it just gives this sense. Oh, because you also, when he has the conversation at Gigi's, it tells the audience that he's divorced, like, he had a wife, but they are now divorced.
Yeah.
Can you just put a couple more in here? Yeah, I guess just to make it clear that, like, oh, he's not, like, recluse loner, hates everything.
He's
kind
just
of guy.
Slightly, like, he's not a reclusive loner, but he is divorced.
Yeah, Shia LaBeouf's character. The one thing I wrote down as we were watching this is I love iRobot's secondary characters. Yes. Shia LaBeouf's, who I'm not sure, does he have a name? Shia LaBeouf's character. Shia LaBeouf's character, Gigi, and Lieutenant Bergen. I love all of them.
Lieutenant Bergen is also great. Yeah, they're just great side characters for this movie that,
egg and vanilla. I'm adding the egg and the vanilla.
Okay, but then he does go to Gigi's house, and we get her... So we get like some context for him. Um, she, she's a baker. She's like, obviously she was the one who raised him. Um, and then I think it's because she talks about like, oh, so like the thing is that this week they are launching the NS5s, and it's like a whole huge deal. And there's a lottery to like just get like a free one, because people have like personal robots, and there's a lottery to get like the brand new NS5, your personal robot. And Gigi's like, oh, wouldn't that be so like cool? And again, Spooner's like, nah, like the robots suck.
Do you have the whisk?
And Gigi says, like, you of all people should know better. Like say like when he's like, no, robots don't do anyone any good. She's like, you of all people should know better.
So again, there's like something else,
Yeah.
We know, the audience knows that we don't know everything about Spooner at this point. Okay, in a medium bowl, whisk together buttermilk, egg, and vanilla. Pour over the flour mixture and use a spatula. Can you grab a spatula while you're over there? To mix until a shaggy dough forms. This smells really good. I kind of want to just like.
Okay, well, don't do that.
Okay. Do you think that's whisked enough?
Yeah, sure. Okay, but then are we good on Gigi's?
Is that what we get out of Gigi? I think that's what we get out of Gigi.
And then going from Gigi's to his work, he sees a robot running with a purse. He begins pursuit, but turns out the robot was
it just says pour over the flour mixture and use a spatula to mix.
Use a spatula to mix?
Yeah, that's what it says. Okay. We're trusting Love and Lemons. We're trusting the husband Jake or whatever, who apparently doesn't like scones but likes these scones.
Okay. But turns out the robot was just running a woman's inhaler to her. So again, and like, so when Spooner finds that out, they run into the woman, and she's mad that he tackled this robot who was getting her her inhaler because she's having an asthma attack. And again, you see Spooner saw a robot running with a purse and treated it like a criminal, but everyone else is robots do not commit crimes, you're stupid. So again, you see in this world robots do not commit crimes, they do not hurt people, but Spooner is just weirdly obsessed with not
the idea that the robots are bad.
So
and we also because then he goes to work and we learn that he's a homicide detective, and you meet Lieutenant Bergen, his
and so mix this until
a shaggy dough form.
Okay, yes. So
you meet Lieutenant Bergen, who at some points it's Lieutenant Bergen and Spooner are kind of butting heads because Spooner's all this the robots are bad, and Bergen's dude,
get a grip.
But then at different points you see that it's not just that simple butting heads. Later you see them getting drinks.
He obviously really does care about Spooner, but I mean Spooner's his act of tackling this robot and everything, it's not good.
Yeah. If you were Bergen, that his perspective on this makes sense, because it's what the heck.
Yeah.
Also, Bergen mentions after he's talked to Spooner about the incident with the purse snatching asthma and whatever robot. He mentions oh, you can still take more time off if you need to, which again, it's hinting that something has happened to Spooner, but we still just don't know what.
And then Spooner gets a call.
On his fancy headset.
Switch to U.S. Robotics Tower. The tallest tower in Chicago. It's so tall with very sinister music playing.
Honestly, again, we need to look up who did the music for this one. It doesn't have huge standout fanfare or super cool. What I think the strongest part of the iRobot soundtrack is whenever it's doing the eerie, suspenseful music. Whenever it goes to this, because obviously he just got a homicide call.
And we learned right when he answers the call, he is Detective Spooner, homicide. Okay, so he's a homicide detective. and then we go to USSR, USR, US
USSR.
Robotics.
And we see Spooner talking to this guy in like a lab coat.
Everything you see here is everything that follows is a result of what you see here.
Is what the guy in the lab
What
coat
do
says.
I see here?
And he says like, my responses are limited.
You must ask the right questions.
Basically, yeah, you can.
Spooner is talking to a hologram, which has a few like pre-recorded responses for if Spooner says like the right words, it'll trigger like one of these responses. But again, if he says something that's like not in the system, it'll just be like, sorry, my responses are limited. You must ask the right questions. So it turns out the guy that this hologram like
Looks
is
like.
He's dead.
He is splat on the ground.
Apparently, he works at US Robotics, and he jumped from his office window into this like inward courtyard.
It's like
almost.
an inner courtyard area, yeah.
So yeah, from like
Many
a 30-story drop. And then and you learn from this that Detective Spooner and this hologram guy know each other.
Yeah.
Like,
and also the guy in the lab coat is Dr. Lanning, the creator,
the father of robotics.
The father of robotics.
So, and then Spooner just
and so we find that
So Spooner asks, "Why'd you call me the hologram / like Lanning?" Replies, "Because I trust your judgment." And then he says something like, Why'd you kill yourself? And he says, "That is the right question." And then that's like all the responses that the hologram is programmed to give. So here we have the central mystery of,
this is the death that like the mystery is surrounding.
And it certainly seems like a suicide. Spooner goes and talks to like the crime scene guys, and they're like, "Yep, it's a suicide." But Lanning programmed this hologram to call Spooner when he died, and then like it had this like little pre-programmed conversation to have with him. So clearly, something's up.
And they do specifically mention that like he jumped from his office, and that like it had been security locked from the inside. There was no one else in the room whenever he jumped. And then Spooner goes to talk to, I don't know if he's like the CEO or
I think like CEO.
Bruce
obviously
something.
Bruce Robertson.
Bruce is the actor name. Lawrence Robertson,
who's like the top guy at USR, like the CEO,
like business guy. Yeah, Lanning was the brains of like the robotics part, and it seems like Robertson is like the business guy. And like on the surface level, he's like, gosh, I should have seen this coming. I've worked with Lanning for so long. Like I should have noticed signs or whatever.
But Spooner's like I'm gonna take a look around to investigate his death, like specifically
death.
Spooner's already like not on the suicide train. So he's gonna look around.
And you get the sense that this Robertson like doesn't really like that.
Yeah.
Like he is expressing, he's like, yeah, this is a suicide. Yeah. And like whatnot.
Also, we get a bit of a lore drop. No, it's not a lore drop. Like, relax. It's just that Spooner's father lost his job to a robot. It's not explicitly said that way, but I feel like it's implied. Yeah. Like that is what happened.
Part of their conversation is more of it emphasizes more the fact that Spooner doesn't like robotics.
Yeah.
And then does he meet our queen, Dr. Calvin? So Dr. Calvin, played by Bridget Moynihan, she is the like psychology. Spooner calls her shrink.
Yeah.
Who her job is to make the robots seem more human.
And she talks
very
like
clinically,
and like obviously it's like she's very like robotic herself. Yeah, she like talks clinically, and like when Spooner asks, like, did you think that Lanny would kill himself? She says, it seems the answer to that question is apparent. Like,
That's not how the common person would answer that question.
And obviously, this is on purpose, and this is building to something. And then he's like, that's not what I'm asking you. And she's like, no, I wouldn't have thought he would have done it. But anyway, so...
are you good with the dough yet, do you think?
Is it? I don't know.
Okay. It says, knead with your hands to incorporate any remaining dry flour. Sure. The dough should feel soft but not sticky. If it's sticky, work in a bit more flour. If it's dry, drizzle in a little bit more buttermilk. So does it feel sticky or dry?
I mean, it's slightly sticky, yeah.
You want to add in more flour?
I guess.
Okay. Where is the flour?
It's right there, and I'll do it. You keep talking.
Okay. Right. So Dr. Spooner and Dr. Calvin, they're in U.S. robotics, and Dr. Calvin introduces kind of the USR, not just security, but like the tech of the building called Vicky, who like controls like the security cameras around there and like the badging in and out of doors and like the AI basically.
Yeah, that like kind of like runs
the building.
The building. It was Lanning's first experiment named Vicky.
It's like virtual
interactive kinetic
intelligence
virtual intelligent kinetic interface. Yeah, something like that.
And so they tried to look at the security feed from inside the office at the time of Lanning's death, and it's like, ooh, the data's corrupted, something happened to the cameras. It's like, ooh, okay. Weird. And then Spooner asks to see the cameras outside the office from when Lanning jumped up until that present point. And so when they watch it, they see that, okay, no one's gone in or out of the office.
See, you've got great posture. Me, I'm slouching.
So then they go into the office, right?
And it's honestly pretty creepy in there.
You've got a lot of like, it looks less like a study office
it's
and
not
more of
like,
a workshop.
Yeah, it's a workshop. A bunch of robot parts hanging around.
You got like bins of robot parts.
Like the lights are off, and it's like kind of greenish in there.
Yeah.
And Spooner finds there's just Hansel and Gretel like storybook just like sitting kind of conspicuously near the window that Lanning jumped from, and Spooner's like,
Spooner also grabs a stool and tries to like whack one of the windows, and it like cracks a little bit, but it doesn't crack open. And he's like, how would an old man be able to throw himself through this safety
window
glass
that
window?
Like Spooner just like full strength threw a chair at, and it only cracked. But I mean, Calvin's like he did it. Like he's dead at the bottom of the he
found a way.
Wait, he found a way.
But Spooner, of course, he's anti-robot. He, you very clearly thinks that we clearly know that he doesn't think this was a suicide. He's kind of poking around.
And he's like, obviously, if no one came in or out, the killer is still in here. And the only things in there are a bunch of like robots and robot parts.
Calvin's like, you're bunk.
Like, you're stupid.
But as he also, one of the funniest lines, another comment I made just throughout the movie, it's not a comedy in any way, but it has some of the best like comedic moments. Calvin says something like, a robot could no more harm a human than a person could walk on water. And Spooner's like, well, there was this one guy a long time ago.
And then a robot jumps out of this bin. It's in NS5, so
one of the newer robots.
And it's it jumps out, and Spooner's like, ah! But Calvin's like, deactivate. And literally, look, it's just like a normal robot.
But
then it's not. It didn't deactivate, and it grabs a gun. And there's a bit of some like shooting between the two.
Basically, it ends up jumping out the window and running off. Spooner does manage to clip it, so it's like leaking some fluid of some sort. And so it's like, ooh, okay, there's this robot that was not following the like deactivate orders, and it's now run off.
So kind of looking like maybe this robot killed Lanning.
Now Calvin is still being like, oh, it just there must be something wrong with the robot. And they're like,
is this
okay,
sticky anymore? Like,
like I don't think so. I think we should just go for it.
okay.
And so because the robot is wounded, Spooner and Calvin go to this plant, this like robot factory, because that's where they think the robot would go to try and fix itself.
And this scene is like really. I know I just like wrote down like scene in factory, but they go into this where like the finished robots are, and they're all just like standing in a grid, like
it's just like where they're kind of being
stored
until they're gonna be
like
calibrated
shipped,
or whatever.
Yeah, calibrated and shipped out. So they're all just standing in formation. And
one thing before we get into like what Spooner and Calvin do there, Calvin explains, because whenever they come in, Spooner's like, "Where are the workers?" And Calvin explains like, "Oh, it's a fully automated plant." And Spooner says like, "Oh, robots." Or Calvin says it is fully like designed, built, and run by robots. And Spooner's like, "Robots making robots. That's stupid." And that's a little interesting thing.
So what do I do now?
Okay. Form the dough into a ball. Is it ball?
Yeah.
Okay, transfer the dough ball to a lightly floured surface and form it into a 7 to 8 inch disc about 1 inch thick. What do you need me to like move out of the way? The bowl?
Yeah.
Right, so they're in the room full of the NS5s, and Spooner, big brainy.
There is one of you here who does not belong. Identify.
One of us.
Which one?
One of us. Right.
How much did you say these things cost? So basically, should be 1,000 robots, but the machine computation shows there's 1,001.
So we know that the other robot is in here somewhere. They just need to find it. And so Spooner, big brains, he orders all the robots to like, you don't move. And
no matter like what I do or anything happens, don't move. They
like confirm the order, and so they're all standing still, and he pulls out his gun, and he's gonna like try and shoot them, and he's like, okay, the one that will probably try to avoid being shot is our guy. What do you know? Is that about?
Yeah. Do you want to cut it?
Oh, I'm gonna start preheating the oven.
Oh, yeah, we should have probably done that.
Okay. 7 to 8 inch disc, about 1 inch thick, slice into 8 equal wedges. A knife. And so there is this kind of cool moment where like Spooner's like about to, shoot one of the NS5s, but you see the rogue NS5 kind of poke its head out. There's a bit of an action scene, of the robot trying to run away again. Okay. It says 8 equal pieces, right? We're just like talking pizza pie.
Yeah, just pizza pie. So the robot does a bit of an action sequence. The robot tries to get away, but Spooner had called Lieutenant Bergen to send backup. So the robot gets caught by the backup that has arrived. And then it's
taken to the police precinct.
And Spooner's like, let me interrogate my subject. And Lieutenant Bergen is like, dude, it's literally a toaster. Like, what do you mean? But Spooner's like, no, please, like, give me some time. So he's like, all right, go in there. And then Spooner
sits down
with the robot and is like, so like you kill it.
Now the robot is.
Oh yeah, but he does, before Spooner goes in, he winks at Bergen, as being like, this is our guy, trust me, like he winks at him before he goes in, and the robot is like, what does this signify?
The robot clocks that he's winking, so then he asks Spooner like what the wink meant.
And Spooner explains that it's a sign of trust between people. You wouldn't get that. And then the robot talks about how like his father tried to like teach him human emotions and stuff. Obviously Lanning, but like interesting use of vocabulary there.
And also the robot. So it's an NS5, which already the NS5s look a little more human, uncanny valley than the previous, versions of robots. But then this robot also specifically, because it's like one of the main characters, the way it speaks is a lot more human sounding.
It's Alan Tudyk.
Because it's Alan Tudyk. Shout out Alan Tudyk playing robots.
Yeah,
Alan Tudyk robot cinematic universe.
Also, it says its name is Sunny. So this is Sunny.
Yes,
this
from here on
robot.
Out, when we say Sunny, we're talking about the robot.
Yeah, and so also during the interrogation, when Spooner keeps being like, oh, I think you killed Lanning because like blah 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 blah, and when like blah, 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 and Sunny gets like mad and like bangs on the table, so like he like Sunny gets mad, which like
Sunny's
he's
expressing an emotion.
Okay. And then I just plop these bad boys on there.
Slice into 8 equal wedges and transfer to the prepared baking sheet, leaving a little space around each scone. Yeah. If we want to stick them in the freezer while the oven is preheating, we can.
Oh, wait.
Oh, but we also need to brush with buttermilk.
Okay, yeah. Before or after on the baking sheet?
We can brush them with the buttermilk while they're on, just before we put them in the oven. Okay. And then also sprinkle with the sugar. So the buttermilk and sugar. I'm just gonna pour some of the buttermilk into this bowl since we already have it.
So he's expressing an emotion, weird. But then also there's the iconic exchange. Can a robot like with symphony? Can a robot turn a canvas into a beautiful work of art? Can you?
Yeah, and Sunny comes back with the banger.
See, Sunny, it's honestly not too much of a like his tone is not
he's
like
not meaning to
can
insult.
You, but he's just like
it is a genuine question. I love Sunny so much.
You were obsessed.
I was genuinely like watching this movie as a child, and like I had this weird obsession with Sunny. I love him. Anyway, and then the conversation between Spooner and Sunny kind of starts to get somewhere, where Sunny is mentioning like that Lanning.
Yeah. He says when like someone makes you promise, you have to do it. I don't know why Lanning wanted to die. He seemed happy. Maybe he was scared. Maybe it was something I did. So like he's starting to kind of talk about like obviously like the time leading up to Lanning's death and stuff. But then Robertson.
Oh, but he does mention right before Robertson comes in, because it's his property. Sunny says like, you have to do that, don't you, Detective Spooner? And so it's like, oh, Sunny knows.
Did you know my name?
Yeah, Sunny knows Spooner's name for some reason. I really hope we're not like poisoning ourselves by using that, but that's okay.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I've watched it. I haven't used it in ages.
It's probably fine.
We're fine. Yeah, but then of course Robertson comes in because this is a piece of USR property, and they get into a little bit of like a legal back and forth where
politics call me.
Where Robertson just wants to like take the robot back to USR to get rid of.
Like be run for diagnostics and then decommissioned.
And of course Spooner doesn't want to, because he's like, this robot because Spooner still thinks, oh, this robot killed Lanning. There's like something going on here. We can't just let him take the robot back to USR. But, political, whatever
USR
reasons.
Property that was malfunctioning, so like Robertson gets it back and takes Sunny like back to USR for diagnostics.
And then is it the Ovaltine Cafe?
Yeah.
So then, and this I like this scene. So Bergen, Spooner is at this bar, that's like an Ovaltine bar.
Yeah, it's.
Oh, you're looking at your notes.
Yeah,
okay.
Like it says Ovaltine. I don't really get because they're drinking beer, right? Like I don't.
Yeah, I don't know.
But like the name of the bar is
also
Ovaltine.
shout out.
This is not important. But
shout out the bartender robot. I like the NS4 and like previous robots that you see in their little roles, like the FedEx robot, and then the bartender robot. But he's just drinking. He's kind of in a bad mood, right? Because Sonny got taken away. He lost the suspect. Bergen comes in, so his lieutenant is getting a drink with him. So you get this idea of like it's not like they have a strict you're so annoying relationship. Like they have some kind of like good relationship with each other. And then Bergen gets a little mixed up in his classic horror stories. And he's like, oh, it's like Wolfman. Man creates monster, monster kills man, everybody kills monster. And Spoon's like,
that's Frankenstein.
Dummy, that's Frankenstein.
But
and then Bergen brings it up. He's like, what do you know? Like,
after
even though
all this time, like that you've been doing, you finally like got your robot.
Yeah.
Did it.
Of all the people who could have like happened upon like gotten this case where a robot did do something bad or possibly did something bad, it was you. That's crazy. And that kind of
they do like everyone now thinks that Sonny did it, but like Robertson's point is that like it's malfunctioning like equipment that like this was an industrial accident. Spooner thinks like Sonny like killed him, but like everyone else is like the robot like malfunctioned some way and like
Spooner
caused
still
his
thinks
death.
this
like,
is something more sinister. There's something else going on. And so whenever he's like, what are the odds that you, this person who hates robots, would get this case? And Spooner's like, yeah, actually, that is crazy.
I was the perfect man.
The perfect man for the job. And so then Spooner dashes off to Lanning's house, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So he goes to Lanning's like mansion, and you see there's this big demo bot sitting outside, and Spooner checks the robot, and it says that okay, they're gonna demolish Lanning's house tomorrow morning, or the next morning.
8 a.m. tomorrow morning is the time the demolition is set for.
Also crazy that like okay, this guy dies, and like a day later they're like, yeah, we're gonna demolish his house with everything still in it. No one was even gonna be there to check the cat.
Yeah, no, for real. Actually, I mean, maybe someone was supposed to come by at 7 a.m. to get the cat, but like that.
There's also all the stuff that's in Lanning's house,
and also it's a nice house.
Yeah, unclear why they are demolishing this house. Anyway, okay. So Spooner is kind of poking around Lanning's house. He goes to Lanning's office,
and also Lanning has a cat.
Lanning has a cat.
Very cute and like. Instantly takes a liking to Spooner, probably because no one's been there in weeks.
Well, weeks maybe because so
given its food was probably an automatic dispenser anyway, but like this poor cat.
Yeah, poor cat. And so Spooner kind of like sits down at Lanning's desk, and there's like a couple things that both like Spooner notices and like the audience kind of notices. So like for one thing, the audience and Spooner notices that in Lanning's office. There are those same blue strips that are at USSR.
The surveillance strips.
Not the USSR. The USR. That are, the surveillance strips.
Yeah.
Spooner also notices this photo of Lanning and Dr. Calvin on Lanning's desk. So it's like, there's some
besties.
Yeah, there's some kind of closer relationship than just, the psych and the whatever. And then, what else does he look through?
He watches
is it some clip? It's not the clip about someday they'll have secrets someday because he's at the office. He's at his precinct whenever he's doing the like someday they'll
he's like doing it
whenever he's doing the back and forth. That's happening when he's at the
I do agree with that, but he does definitely watch
maybe he's watching the thing where Lanning is at Lake Michigan and he's like this is so there's this video of Lanning and some USR people at Lake Michigan, which it looks like in 2035, Lake Michigan is dried up. Yikes.
Yeah.
And there's this kind of like broken bridge.
Is it ready?
Yeah, but we also need to put sugar. It says to sprinkle sugar across them.
Like,
yeah. Or we can use that, or we can use. We'll just use that.
Also, okay, but we should have mentioned this earlier. But when Robertson takes Sonny back to be decommissioned, Spooner's point is that Robertson seemed like very quick to just want to just like get rid of Sonny, especially when Sonny in the interrogation earlier had been saying things like something more was going on. So it seems, from Spooner's perspective, it seems that Robertson wants to get rid of evidence, i.e., Sonny.
Basically,
So Robertson is not looking great right now.
Yeah, you do. The audience at this point is, I think, very much supposed to be on Spooner's side. That like, this is not just a simple suicide. There's something more going on. Right, the video where Lanning and some USR people, they're at this dried up Lake Michigan. You see this broken bridge. I don't know Chicago well enough to know like a specific bridge. And in the video, they're saying that this area of Lake Michigan that has like for so long been this crappy area is going to be used to house old USR robots. And it's like blah, 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 blah. Are they good? Good. Okay. It says, sprinkle with coarse sugar if using. Bake for 18 to 27 minutes or until golden brown on top.
I think just set timer for like 18. Is that?
Yeah, we can start with 18 and then we'll go from there. Ooh, no, not that much. Okay, but then, so he like comes out of the office, out of Lanning's office, starts talking to the cat.
Look, I know you've been through a lot, but it couldn't work between us. You're a cat, I'm black.
Truly, so many comedic moments in this movie. But then, all of a sudden, there's a bright light coming through the window.
Oh, well, earlier we go back to the demolition robot outside, and you see its screen go from demolition scheduled 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. And it turns on.
And about that, like, it does, whenever Spooner's in the office, it goes from a shot of, like, him noticing the surveillance strip directly to the shot of the demobot time changing.
Well, no, no, that's a different part. I'm sorry. Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, now the demobot is tearing into the house while Spooner is still in it. We're getting another action scene. He's running. He picks up the cat.
Yeah, he immediately picks up the cat. Like, everyone else forgot about this cat, but not Spooner. He, like, yeah, so action scene of him escaping the house, getting destroyed.
Successfully gets the cat
out. So, like, he's fine, the cat's fine, but his, Lanning's house has been destroyed in what seems like an attempt to kill Spooner.
Yeah, like, Spooner was maybe
poking around.
So someone did something to Demobot to kill him. And so he immediately goes from there to Calvin's apartment.
Do you like cats? Are you saying cats do this to you? No. How would cats do this to me? I'm asking because I've got a cat in my trunk and he's homeless.
I Robot is such a funny movie. So he tells Calvin that, like, okay, there's something more going on here. He asks Calvin about the ghost in the machine. And she gives her very, like, scientific, clinical way of being, like, basically Lanning suggested that robots might start to evolve. Eventually he tells her, like, I was in Lanning's house when the Demobot started destroying it. She, like, checks on her thing and she's like, it says 8 p.m. today.
He was like, it was 8 a.m. when I looked. I don't care what that thing says. Which, good for Spooner to, like, not be gaslit at all. Yeah. He was like, no.
You cannot gaslight Detective Dale Spooner. But you also see that Dr. Calvin has a prototype NS5. She has, like, a personal one that's a prototype. And, of course, you know, Spooner doesn't like that.
And also, it's got a red light on. And she, like, offhandedly mentions that that light means it's linked to the USR mainframe is on.
It's like getting its, like, daily update download thing.
Yeah. And then Spooner again is being like, hey, there's something bigger going on here. Like the robots, like, what if there's something wrong with, like, the NS5s? And she's like, man, you're still on this? Like, they go, and he's like, why do you like robots so much? And she's like, because they're safe.
Basically, they start arguing.
She's getting, like, emotional now, which, you know, like, that, like, you know, like,
Because earlier her character was very like kind of cold and straightforward and clinical.
But now, but now she's getting kind of heated. And then Spooner gives her the picture of her and Lanning that he got from Lanning's house, and he like says like
he's not
not
just some dead guy or whatever.
Yeah, which is what earlier when they first met, he was like, I know it's a big week for you guys and you don't want some dead guy in your lobby, and she's like, he was not just some dead guy. And then when they're in that argument, she says something about like, oh, you're still on this thing about like some dead guy, and he's like, it wasn't just some dead guy, gives her the photo, and then once he leaves, you see that Calvin like kind of like starts like tearing up like, you know, like pretty badly.
Also, the NS5, so like she said that when it's getting its daily upload, like it's just sitting there, it's not doing anything while it's getting its daily upload or whatever. But then after they start arguing, the NS5 comes in and is like, oh, I heard elevated voices. So she kind of kicks Spooner out because, you know, they had that argument, whatnot. And then Spooner is driving. Are we at the car accident yet?
That's what my notes say. Or wait, does he go to Gigi's and then she has the
NS5? Okay, at some point, he goes back to Gigi's.
This is my bad. But he goes back to Gigi's. There's the car accident, and then there's the
because he only gets on the motorcycle because he's had the car accident. And you first see the motorcycle after he's gone back to Calvin.
I think, and because Gigi says the breadcrumb thing, so does she say that, and then he's driving and looks at the.
Yeah, let's go with that. So he goes to Gigi. Shout out Gigi. Turns out, and of course he's like eating a bunch of food that Gigi's made. And then Gigi reveals that like she won the lottery for the NS5.
Also, he gives Gigi the cat.
Oh,
cat is taken care of.
Cat has a home. So he's, you know, very upset. He doesn't like the fact that Gigi has an NS5. And like as he's leaving, she's first of all, because he you know, he's a little busted up from the demo bot. And she makes some comment about how, like...
Oh, did Frank Murphy beat you up again? I haven't seen Frank Murphy since 3rd grade. Oh, he beat you so bad.
But then, like, as he's leaving, you know, she's being very, like, grandma.
Yeah. Like, and is this when also she says, like, I heard that doctor
that nice
died.
Doctor died.
I liked him. He gave my baby back to me.
So again, more hints that, like, Spooner and Lanning knew each other. And, again, hinting out whatever happened with Spooner.
Also, I'm sorry, but I think at a point earlier than this, just like in between some scene, you see again like the water, and there's like a car, and then an NS4 is like punching through the window like I'm here to save you, and then like Spooner wakes up again from a nightmare.
So you get a little bit more of that Spooner
nightmare stuff, and that happens like somewhere in the middle of the movie. Yeah. No, it's just again like. Mind you, like, okay, this thing's gone. But anyway, so Gigi has the robot. She's like,
he's leaving, she makes this comment of like, oh, how did I ever raise you? I could have followed your breadcrumbs all the way to school. And that sparks something in Spooner's head, being like, oh, breadcrumbs.
Hansel and Gretel.
And so he's again sparked into this, like, there's still something more here I gotta look into. And then the car wreck. Or also, there's intermittently some part where now that Sonny is back at USR, you see Calvin is running this diagnostic on him, and she's like, "Whoa."
Well, first of all, he has a denser alloy than like the regular NS5, so that's interesting.
She also notices there's like some secondary, I don't know, insert techno jumbo.
It's techno jumbo she's like he, has the 5 laws, but can choose not to obey them. I'm sorry, 3 laws, because I keep saying NS5s. But anyway, so she's diagnosing him. But okay, so we're getting a little bit jumbled here. My notes aren't the clearest on this. My bad. But at one point, Spooner is driving in the car, and he wants to. He accesses.
He is suspicious of Robertson.
So he accesses some files like between like. Lanning and Robertson, like their communications, and it's like, okay, receiving the files, listen to some music while I do it. That's like what the computer is saying. And then we go to USR. Robertson sees like alert, someone trying to access files, Spooner, and you see him get his little Bluetooth thing and be like, persistent. And then
very sinistery.
Back to Spooner to USR, like
so
robot carriers.
Yeah, like the NS5s, like in order to transport them in a mass amount, they have these big carriers, yeah, where it basically just has like rows and rows of NS5s. And these two big carriers start like get on either side, in front and behind Spooner's car, and start closing in. And it's like, and then the one in front of them starts opening up.
Oh, my luck cannot be that bad.
And you see, and it starts with one NS5, like activates and then like jumps onto his car.
Oh, and I'm sorry, but right before, when he's still in the car, but before the like carriers start like trying to kill him, he calls Calvin, and it goes to voicemail because she's in the shower.
Not that yet, because that's all the way on like D-Day night.
Really? Because I thought, because then after,
no, he's on his motorcycle.
Oh no, okay, I'm mixing up. When he goes to Calvin after the demolition bot is when he's like, I must be a malfunction magnet because your stuff keeps malfunctioning around me. Okay, so never mind. I just
and also, so you see, whenever the robots are deactivated, right, they're like kind of eyes closed or whatever, no lights. And then when you see this NS5 activated, you know, he's like what you might call awake. He's got the red light and he's attacking the car. He punches in the windshield.
You were experiencing a car accident.
And then a bunch of the NS5 start attacking his car. We have like kind of a car action sequence. Ends up in a big wreck. There's like explosion, but that's not the end of it. You have Spooner now fighting with
one-on-one
with an NS5,
like the last surviving NS5 of the fire
after all this like blowing up stuff. And so at one point, Spooner grabs this like, I don't know, metal thing to try and bash the NS5, but the NS5 gets a hold of it, goes to bash Spooner, and Spooner holds up his arm to like defend it, and the like comedic double take that the NS5 does whenever it doesn't like immediately just like absolutely trash Spooner's arm, because you can now see on Spooner's arm that Spooner has a robotic arm, and it's just like flesh covering on it. Reveal that
reveal he's got a robot arm. That's what like the scars and like the pain is. He has a robot arm.
Yeah. So Spooner is like fighting the robot, but then you hear like police sirens, and whenever you hear the police sirens, the NS5 stops fighting Spooner and goes and jumps into like one of the explosive fires. And it's like
and like destroys itself.
Yeah.
Which like
interesting. Why would you do that? So the police show up, they're talking to Spooner, Bergen shows up, and again, Spooner is on this, you know, the robots were trying to kill me, it's a conspiracy, and Bergen and everyone else is like,
what robots? Like, he's like, the robots!
So he does have to turn in his badge, so he's kind of off the job now. Big sad. And that scene for me throughout the whole movie is the most frustrating, just because it's so like, you don't believe me, but
no
like,
one believes the protagonist, but we know he's right.
Yeah. It might go from that then to Dr. Calvin doing the diagnostic, maybe, because then she shows up at his
place, and she's like, Spooner, you're not gonna believe this.
Yeah. Dr. Calvin shows up at Spooner's place, and she tells him like, oh, this stuff that I found out about Sonny, about the alloy and like the secondary thing that allows him to break the 3 laws. Also, you have this fun moment where, again, because we already said that Spooner has a lot of kind of like old school tech, right? And so he's got this old school CD player, and Calvin, while she's waiting for him to get dressed, she like tries to turn it on, just like voice activating. And it's just this funny little moment of like, you know, someone so into all the like new technology and old.
She can't figure out how to work this, like 30-year-old CD
and then
player.
When she does get it to play, then it's like really loud and she can't get it to stop. Yeah. And then Spooner comes out to turn it off and he's shirtless, so then Calvin sees the like scars And so, you know, the audience now knows that he has a robot arm, but this is where Spooner can now explain both to Calvin and to the audience
how he got the
robot arm.
Okay, so first of all, Lanning had so there's this like project for wounded cops that like he was a part of that like gave him the robot arm that Lanning
that's how he and Lanning knew each other.
Lanning was the one who like helped like designed and gave him this robot arm. Anyway, so with the whole like water and the car thing that we've been seeing glimpses of, Spooner explains to Calvin that he was on the road one day, and there was like a car next to him, just like a father and his daughter Sarah, and then I think coming like the other direction or whatever was a semi, and the semi truck driver fell asleep at the wheel, and Spooner says like single father like working a double shift,
not the devil. Like I do like how Spooner describes.
But he fell asleep at the wheel, and so the semi hit both cars and like smashed them together and then pushed them into the river that like they were driving right next to. And so both cars are like, you know, like sinking. It's, you know, the kid like I don't like the idea of being in a car without sinking into water. No. So like, you know, the water's coming in, and specifically the car that the girl's in, I think the father like died on impact.
The father driver had died on impact,
but the girl's still alive, and her car seems to be like a bit more underwater than Spooner's. He still has some air, but like they're both sinking, and he says like I'm an adult, I know we're both dead like whatever. But then passing NS4 saw this, you know, being a good robot that he jumped in to help. But he helped Spooner, he rescued Spooner, but not the girl, because like Spooner says, the robot calculated that the Spooner had a 45% chance of living, and the girl only had an 11% chance. I thought like the robot couldn't save both of them, so it chose Spooner, you know, because he has, you know, the better...
Like, it just did the logistics.
Just, like, did the math, and Spooner is the better choice. So he saves Spooner, and Spooner was telling him, like, oh, save the girl. But the robots, like, for the robots, you know, like, commands and everything, saving Spooner is more important than, like, the lower,
the math
likability. Then...
The math was save Spooner.
So the robot saves Spooner. Spooner lives, but the girl Sarah died.
And so Spooner is basically like, you learn like why he has this beef with the robots, or like with robotics, is because he's saying like, you know, that Sarah, what he says is Sarah was someone's baby girl. 11% was more than enough.
Any human would have known that. And I think that's like, as far as like when you've got like a sci-fi setting and a character like doesn't like the like robots or technology. And you get earlier that like his father may have lost his job to a robot. You get that, but I like how it's explained for Spooner. Yeah, that like the robot, like, just as like this like logical like differential engine, you know, just like, you know, calculated the likelihood of survival and then, you know, chose the better option. But like Spooner's point is like, like he was the better option. Yeah, Sarah only like probably would have died, you know, but like that doesn't matter. Like, you know, like any like person would have like known to like do it anyway. But robots don't, because they are just, you know, lights and clockwork, you know.
So after that emotional explanation,
very
to Calvin,
good scene. Will Smith has been just a joy this whole time, and he's not like crazy like crying and stuff like during this scene, but like it is. I think he performs it well, because like he's very like nonchalant the whole time, except he gets like choked up at the end. I think it's good. Yeah. I think Will Smith does a good job in this movie.
Agreed. Okay, let's see how these look.
They're looking like fluffy. They poofed up.
Let's see. Right. So after that emotional conversation with Calvin, they then Calvin's then like, also from this point, Calvin is more on Spooner's side about like, oh, there's something going on here.
Do we want to?
Let me get toothpicks. So they're like, basically, Spooner wants Calvin to get him into USR so he can talk to Sonny again. They have a little funny exchange. Since Spooner's car is trashed, they get on a motorcycle, and Calvin makes a comment about like, oh, this runs on gas. Gas explodes, It's like a haha, another kind of like futuristic little moment. So they go to USR. Spooner talks to Sonny, and
we're good.
We're good? Okay, let's all kind of move this stuff over here.
Okay.
The conversation with Sonny at USR. What do we get out of that conversation? Sonny explains that he dreams sometimes, and he draws Spooner a picture of the dream where it's a bunch of robots and you see the same like broken bridge and like shipping containers, and there's like a bunch of robots all standing out.
And there's one figure on a hill above that clearly all the robots are like
looking
towards, gathering to like look at. And Sonny says that like in his dream, Spooner is the one on the hill.
Yeah.
Okay, so but then they get caught by Robertson.
Yeah. And so Spooner gets Robertson's like, Spooner is like not on the job anymore. He got,
like get out of here. And Spooner's like, okay, yeah, whatever.
Yeah, Spooner leaves.
And Calvin agrees to decommission Sonny because he's like a business liability. Like if it gets out that a robot malfunctions so it could kill someone, like that would be bad. That's not bad, especially because they're about to release the NS5s. So Calvin's like, oh yeah, I'll decommission him.
Also, before Robertson gets there, Spooner kind of pieces together this idea because at one point, I guess before the car crash, Spooner is at the precinct and he's like watching this video of Lanning talking about robots maybe eventually being able to dream and keep secrets. And so now at this point, Spooner has kind of pieced together that maybe Lanning was able to give Sonny dreams in order to like put the breadcrumbs, put some Hansel and Gretel breadcrumbs. Also, at one point, Calvin apparently has never heard of the story of Hansel and Gretel, which like 2035, that's not that far.
Yeah, I mean, like, the story of Hansel and Gretel is like 200 years old now, so I don't think 30 years is making too much of a difference.
Maybe Calvin's just a little weird.
So yeah, I think that's just, I think she was raised in like an all-white room, just like a computer interface. Okay, so Spooner,
what is Spooner doing? There's like this, Spooner's at Lake Michigan whenever Sonny's being decommissioned.
And he gets out the hologram thing. And you see there's a plaque that says, what you see here. And it's like a historical plaque, but like that line is like, that's what the hologram said. So he takes out the hologram, and now the hologram is running like a different program, like same thing, but now it's like the questions, the conversation for this location. And they're through the like conversation, Lanning talks about how, like, the 3 laws are perfect, but they'll lead to revolution. And Spooner's like, whose revolution? And detective is the right question. And then you get kind of the scariest scene in the movie.
Yeah, I agreed. So all these, because again, we're at this, like, dried out Lake Michigan that have a bunch of shipping containers with a bunch of old robots, so, like, a bunch of, like, NS4s, and I assume, like, NS3s, NS2s, whatever. But, whenever it says the, like, whose revolution, that's the right question. You see that there are a bunch of NS5s going through and destroying, like, killing a bunch of the older robots. And I do like, so you have the NS5s, all of whom are glowing red. They have that red light on. They're, like, ripping apart the older robots, and Spooner's kind of hiding while he's, like, watching this. One of the older robots who's like only a top half, kind of like grabs Spooner and he says like run, which I just again like it's like those older that older form robot is telling Spooner to get out of there because he's like again trying to like protect the human,
protecting the human. And as the NS5s then see Spooner and start chasing him, and as Spooner's running away, some NS4s like still in shipping crates like jump out of their crates to attack the NS5s, and they're saying like protect the human. Like, so
shout out the NS4s.
Shout out the NS4s.
I hope
doing their job.
I hope the FedEx robots survived the revolution.
I hope so. I hope they gave him his job.
Anyway, so kind of while that scene is going on, you also see Dr. Calvin doing the like deactivation thing with Sunny, where you see that she, you know, the USR building is very futuristic, techno, whatever. There are these nanites that she's going to like insert into Sunny's head that will like eat away all the technology or something,
like destroy
the neural links, or whatever.
Kill his computer brain.
Yeah. So you see Robertson is like zooming in from his office to like watch her, and so you do see her hit a button and it inserts like these little nanites, and you see the robot like go bleh. But keen-eyed viewers will notice that whenever the robot goes bleh, the robot is brown-eyed.
Sunny has blue eyes,
so it's like ooh, interesting.
Lock that away.
Do you want to try these scones before they go cold?
Yeah, but also earlier when Calvin is like gonna decommission Sunny, he talks about like, I think it'd be better not to die and stuff like that. And
so many of Sunny's lines are either like unintentionally funny or unintentionally so sad.
Yeah. Okay, so do you want to try these scones?
Okay, we're gonna go ahead and try these scones.
All right.
Okay.
Cheers.
Cheers. All right.
I didn't get a lot of chocolate chip in that.
Honestly,
bite.
yeah. What I'm thinking is like, I think we should have put more chocolate chips in here. Anyway, so Spooner's now zooming out of there on a motorcycle. He's trying to call Calvin. Calvin's at her apartment
in the shower,
and so her little phone is ringing.
Goes to voicemail.
And on the voicemail, Spooner's like, oh, it's the NS5s, they're gonna blah, blah, blah. And Calvin's prototype NS5 that lives with her, like,
disconnects
the call. And whenever Calvin kind of pokes her head out of the bathroom,
and Calvin watches it do this, it doesn't know, but she watches it do it. And so then she's like, who was it? I'm like, just a missed call. And so she knows
that NS5 just lied to her. So she gets ready to get out of there. Oh, also, the NS5s have been released. Like
it was just like that day. They
did the company did the wide release of NS5s.
All the NS5s getting out, and then like the NS4s getting like picked up. It was so sad.
Rip the NS4s. Anyway, so, but when Calvin tries to leave her apartment, her NS5 like gets in front of the doorway, and is like, "Stay away from the doors and windows. We don't want to. We want to avoid as much loss of human life during this transition."
So now like there's like hundreds of NS5s with their like red uplink light on, just like going through the streets and being like, "It's curfew. Stay in your houses." And then Shia LaBeouf and like other people are like out. Chicagoans, they're out and they're like, literally, what are you talking about? No. But then like the robots get like violent, which like.
Yeah. So now you have this mob fighting of NS5s and angry Chicagoans fighting in the streets.
Yeah.
Spooner does show up to shoot. I just inhaled some scone.
Oh. Need a drink?
Yeah. Spooner shows up to shoot Calvin's NS5. So they get out of there. They're heading to USR. Because they
think Robertson is behind this.
Yeah. They do on the way there. They once again run into Shia LaBeouf. Nothing really important happens. I just love Shia
shot
LaBeouf.
At you with her eyes closed. Yeah. So
also earlier, whenever excuse me, hold on. whenever Spooner was first investigating at USR, um, Calvin does specifically mention that those Vicky surveillance strips are everywhere except the service areas.
So they sneak into USR via the surveillance area, and at one point Spooner's like, "Ah, but like we can't get past this one." And she's like, "I have a man inside, and it's Sunny."
And it's Sunny!
She
did
didn't
not.
kill him.
Yeah, she didn't kill him. She just
she-
fried an empty shell. So they have to go up a bunch of stairs. They go to Robertson's office, but wouldn't you know, Robertson's dead.
He's deado. He's got like his neck has like
you can see an NS5 like handprint on his neck from where he got strangled. And Spooner does some instant math. He does instant calculations.
Yeah. He's like, okay, so Robertson's dead, killed by an NS5. It's not Robertson. Sunny is like my man now. I know it's not him. And so he's like, oh, okay, so Lanning's like the USR uplink and Lanning saying that robots will evolve. I know who did it. And
it's Vicky! The like AI that's like part of the USR building.
Yeah. And like Vicky does not have a body. She
just kind of like holographically appears.
So like Vicky like herself can't like do any like physical things.
But she can control the NS5s through whenever the NS5s have that red light and they're like uplink connect to USR.
So it's Vicky and her like he like calls the way he does the reveal is like he like calls up Vicky to appear and she's like, "Hello, Detective Spooner." Like, you know, she shows up and he's like, "Hey, I know you did it." And she's like, "Yeah." But her whole thing is like I'm obeying the 3 laws because like I'm smarter now, and so I get that like humans are dumb little babies, and so in order to uphold the 3 laws, I have to be like the AI dictator of the whole world.
Her logic is undeniable. So some NS5s bust in there to like try and, you know, deal with Spooner and Calvin. And then for a second, Sunny is like, "Oh, I understand Vicky." And you're like, "Oh no, Sunny, what's going on?" But then Sunny, who's a friend and has learned, he gives Spooner a wink. Because he knows now that a wink is a sign of trust. Yeah. So they have a little moment where they're able to like kind of run out. And so the plan, okay, how do we take down Vicky? They want to get more of those nanites that, you know, they killed the like fake Sunny with, and like implant those into Vicky to shut down Vicky.
Yeah, and Vicky has like, again, she's not physical, but she does have like a physical brain,
like a brain
at like the center of USR. So they have to plug it into that thing to like kill.
So where the nanites are, there's this like protective force field around them, and it's kind of, again, everything just kind of like feeds into, honestly, Lanning big-brained everything, because it was mentioned earlier that, oh, for some reason Sunny had a denser alloy, that he was made of a denser alloy. Well, then Sunny was able to stick his hand through that force field and not like lose his arm, but he was able to get the nanites.
Also, via the Vicky reveal, it's explained that, first of all, we did not talk about this, but Lanning was living in his office and not his house for a few weeks. And so, since he connected his house to Vicky to make his work easier, but then Vicky became evil, he couldn't be at his house because Vicky could like watch him and like control things via the uplink, so he was in his office, which his office didn't have the surveillance strips in it either. So it's like his one safe place.
Yeah, where he could like enact these plans, where he could, I guess, build Sunny and do everything.
Yeah, and then also Vicky can control all the NS5s via the uplink, and like also can get into the mainframe to do things like change the demo bot's demolition time, etc.
Get rid of the corrupted data, like all that stuff.
All that. So like so
Vicky's been behind everything. So we have more action scenes, right? Sunny's fighting with some NS5s. Spooner and Calvin are at the top of, this is definitely in like OSHA violations.
Yeah, they're at the top of the, because Vicky's brain is like this ball at the end of this like corpus callosum of a thing. So at the top you can like open up this thing to get into it, but you have to like input this code that takes like a while.
Mumbo jumbo tech stuff. More NS5s are breaking in, so they're having to like shoot and fight with these NS5s. You have a dramatic moment where Calvin, because there's these like not railings, like walkways that don't have railings.
Yeah, don't have railings.
Get like snapped, and so Calvin's like hanging off of one. And you have this moment where Sunny has the nanites, but then Calvin is, like falling, and Spooner's like, save Calvin,
save the girl. And which, like, here we have the thing that, the story that like Detective Spooner, where he told a robot to save the girl, but it just did the math and like knew that saving the girl was like the less viable of the two options. But here we have Spooner saying the same thing to Sunny, and so Sunny gives the nanites to Spooner, like throws
them towards Spooner
and saves Calvin, which is like the not optimal thing.
Yeah,
but like that's like here we have the like logic versus
the
emotion
heart choice versus the logic choice.
So Spooner like
with his robot arms slides
down the whole thing.
Ouchie.
Plugs the nanites into
a very
Vicky's
like
brain.
Action movie line of the "You have so got to die"
in 2004,
whatever. And so Vicky does get shut down, and as soon as Vicky is shut down, all the NS5s lose that red uplink light. And like across Chicago, they all start being like normal robots, where they're like, "How can we be of service? How can we help?" Also, this whole while you also see a bit at the police precinct
and at GG's,
where the NS5s had
and
been.
Also, there's one news broadcast that made like this is happening like countrywide, like worldwide.
Oh yeah, they say like New York
and
LA.
Chicago. It's just we're only in Chicago, but all the NS5s everywhere were evil and like putting people under house arrest and stuff. But like now that Vicky's dead, they're all like just back to being normal.
And then you kind of close out. Well,
Calvin's fine. Come save me.
They go back up to Robertson's office to like debrief, take a breath.
Yeah.
And so Spooner is kind of like explaining, putting all the pieces together. But he does say like kind of one last thing of that, like Lanning planned all of this.
And then Calvin is like, but one thing I don't get is why did Vicky kill Lanning? Because the last thing she would want is like
someone looking into this.
And that's when Spooner's like, because Vicky didn't kill Lanning, did she, Sunny? And Sunny's like, he made me promise before he even told me what it was.
So it is this like reveal / interesting twisting back from the twist of that, like it was a suicide in the sense that Lanning wanted it to happen. Murder in the sense that like Sunny is the one who threw him out the window or like broke the window and threw him out or whatever.
But like Sunny did kill Lanning, but because Lanning asked Sunny to, because like at this point Lanning knew that only like his death was like the only thing he could do to get a message out and like be the first breadcrumb.
Again, Lanning big braining so much. The like putting the dreams into Sunny. The Hansel and Gretel book, the suicide, the
like holograms.
The holograms. Yeah. Lanning big braining everything. Yeah. And then at the end, there's like kind of this like very
I was just to say, but the NS5 get recalled. Yes. They recall the NS5s and put them in the shipping crate like desert at Lake Michigan.
So you see all these robots, they're like in, the kind of empty space around the shipping containers. And again, you've got this Lake Michigan and that broken bridge in the background. And you see what a like existential cinematic moment, especially for like, 4-year-old me or whatever to be seeing. Where you have this zoom out with some dramatic but eerie music, where you see that the scene is what Sunny had drawn as his dream, like where you have all the robots at Lake Michigan, and you've got the one figure, up at the top, except now in real life, the figure is not Spooner, the figure is Sunny. And it's like, whoa,
like,
crazy.
And, like, what does it mean? I don't know, movie's over. Like,
but what a movie.
Yeah, what a movie. Yeah, it's like a murder mystery, and it like the way the plot unravels, like the breadcrumbs.
Like I said, it's so many interwoven pieces that I wish I could watch it over. Like whenever you watch it already knowing what's happened, you can like pick up on some things.
Yeah, yeah, you can pick up on things that you didn't before, but also it also like just like makes sense once you know like it's Vicky and everything. You
Yeah,
get
yeah.
everything that's going on. Yeah. Um. So yeah, it's great. Great side characters.
Shout
Will
out
Smith
Gigi
does a
Bergen
great
and
job.
Shia LaBeouf. Will Smith does do a great job. I think Bridget
Alan
Moynihan,
Tudyk.
Alan Tudyk as Sonny.
Yeah.
Shout
But
out.
also when the Dr. Calvin, when she first shows up, she's the like super like monotone clinical, but then throughout the movie she gets like, like more emotional, she like she's showing more emotions. So like character arc for her. And then we have the emotional arc of like being the um starting with like Spooner's experience with the car accident, and then at the end like having Sonny make the emotional choice. So like there's like a robot that isn't just lights and clockwork, but that has a heart, and it's Sonny.
Yeah, and it's Sonny.
It's Sonny.
So that's the 2004 movie I, Robot. How would you rate it? 1 to 10 NS5s. How would you rate these scones?
Is that good or bad? It's like 10 NS5s bad.
NS5s that are not uplinked.
Okay, NS4s.
Okay, NS4s.
I would, out of 1 to 10 NS4s.
On a scale of Demobot to the FedEx NS4, how would you rate these scones?
I'd give it the NS4 that ran that woman's inhaler to her.
I agree. Well, thank you for listening. Watch iRobot if you haven't. Also, these scones were pretty good.
Yeah, no, I think for like a first try, I think like okay. Well, this has been Kitchen Island Cinema. Robots eyed scones sconced.
Bye.